When I talk to you about rejection, I'm not talking about something distant or theoretical. I'm talking about something that hits deep, something that really hurts. Because when a woman is separated by God, when she carries a living faith, firm attitudes, and a heart aligned with what is right, she becomes uncomfortable. It's not because she makes noise, but because her presence is confronting. People who live in agreements with lies feel uncomfortable around those who choose the truth. And this generates distancing, veiled criticism, crossed looks, and even abandonment. Many times you don't understand why. You wonder where you went wrong, but the truth is that it wasn't a mistake. It was positioning. Rejection begins when you stop fitting into what was expected of you and start living what God expects. There is something powerful about an anointed woman that doesn't need to be explained in words. It's in the way you talk, act, choose silence when everyone screams, don't fight back when you're attacked. And exactly for this reason, she is rejected. Because the world prefers people who are predictable, easy to control, moldable to circumstances. A woman who prays, who discerns, who does not accept emotional or spiritual crumbs, becomes a threat to disordered environments. She doesn't need to point the finger at anyone. Her life says it all. And that creates discomfort. People who don't want to change prefer to move away from those who remind them that there is a better, higher, healthier path. Rejection often comes from where you least expect it. It comes from close people, from old friendships, even from family members. This hurts because you believe love should protect, not hurt. But when God begins to work deeply in you, He also begins to show you who really walks alongside you. Not everyone can stand to see your growth, your spiritual maturity, your emotional firmness. Some preferred the old version of you, more dependent, more insecure, easier to influence. When that version dies, the relationship changes. And many call this rejection, but in fact it is necessary separation. There is a spiritual weight to being anointed that few people talk about. It's not glamour, it's not a highlight, it's not a stage, it's renunciation. It's saying no when it would be more comfortable to say yes. It's maintaining integrity even when no one is looking. And that's tiring, that's isolating. People who live in appearance can't stay close to those who really live. Rejection appears as a consequence of this contrast. You start to notice that certain invitations decrease, certain conversations cease, certain spaces close. And yet, inside you, there is a strange peace, as if God is saying that this separation is protecting you. An anointed woman carries spiritual sensitivity, but this does not mean fragility. On the contrary, it means inner strength. She feels the environment, perceives intentions, understands when something does not come from God. And when she withdraws, when she imposes limits, many interpret this as arrogance or coldness. In fact, it is discernment. But discernment exposes what is hidden. And no one likes to feel seen beyond their masks. That is why rejection appears as a defense for those who do not want to be confronted with their own inconsistency. Maybe you've already tried to adapt so as not to be rejected. You have tried to diminish your faith, silence your voice, relativize your values. But even so, the rejection continued. Because it's not about what you do, it's about who you are. The presence of God in you bothers you even when you try to hide it. You can't turn off the light just to fit into dark places. And every time you try, something inside you becomes sad. God didn't call you to fit in. He called you to remain faithful. And rejection is the price of that loyalty. There is also another point that few accept. Rejection is a sign that you don't belong in certain environments. God uses separation to free you from bonds that would delay what He wants to do in your life. If everyone accepted you, If everyone agreed with you, maybe you would be in the wrong place. Jesus was also rejected, not because he spoke evil, but because he spoke the truth. And following this path means understanding that not everyone will applaud your choices, even when they are right. An anointed woman does not live on human approval. She learns, often painfully, that people's opinions change quickly. Today they praise, tomorrow they criticize. Today they come closer, tomorrow they move away. When you understand this, rejection stops being an open wound and becomes a filter. You begin to value those who remain, those who pray for you, those who respect you, and stop begging for acceptance. This internal change scares those who are used to seeing you asking for validation. It's also important to say that rejection doesn't define who you are. It does not diminish its value. It does not nullify its anointing. It does not cancel God's promises. On the contrary, it often confirms it. Because God does not deliver profound things to those who cannot bear solitude, silence, and opposition. It strengthens you in those moments, even when it feels like everything is at a standstill. Each rejection teaches you to depend less on people and more on God, and that changes everything. If today you feel excluded, ignored, or left aside, I want you to understand something clearly. This is not abandonment of God. It is often taken care of. He is keeping you away from what could hurt you later. He is preparing your heart for true connections, for healthy environments, for a purpose greater than momentary acceptance. The pain of rejection passes, but the consequence of moving away from God to please people leaves deep marks. So, when you realize that not everyone accepts you, don't despair. Pray, watch, grow. God is polishing you. The anointed woman is not rejected because she is weak, but because she is strong. Because it carries something that cannot be manipulated. Because you chose to obey even when it hurts. And at the right time, you will understand that each closed door led you to a place of peace, firmness, and purpose that no rejection could take away from you.